Hello everyone, it's Brona from BronaghsBeautyandBooks.com, and today I'm going to be filming my everyday makeup routine. So, I'm going to do everything I usually do from my face to my hair. First, I start off with my Avon Ideal Flawless Foundation. This is full coverage, which I love, and the shade I use is light pink. I didn't realise at the time, but it doesn't actually zoom in properly to that because it's still focusing on me. But I use 2 squirts of it on the back of my hand, and then I pick up my favourite brush, if I can find it. It's my Real Techniques Stippling brush. I got this with birthday money and I just adore it. I use it by dabbing slightly and then I start to swirl it out a bit. I apply foundation all over my face, starting in around my eye area, down around my chin, into my cheeks, over my nose, and then along my forehead. I tend to try to cover as much as I can and even go down a wee bit past my chin, just to prevent the idea of a mask appearing on my face, which I do think would look quite strange. But as you can see, this is actually quite a good match for my skin tone, which I was struggling to find for a long time. The only other product I know of that has this kind of like match for me is the MUA foundations, and I get their lightest one in porcelain. So it's just me blending it all out, making sure every inch of my face is covered and my neck, just to prevent any sort of masking effect. I always make sure to move my hair out of the way though, because your hair never looks nice with foundation in it. So there is my face finished. Next I move on to my concealer. I am currently using the Essence Concealer Stick in pure nude stick. I use the colour Light or Bear. I'm never really good with names. So this is literally just a stick of concealer. I apply this in a triangle below each of my eyes. I start off by gently dabbing just around the socket and then moving down into the triangle shape. This prevents just a line of concealer on your face, which you don't want, and gives more of an even coverage. After this, I always move straight on to picking up my concealer brush. This is from Lottie, London. I got this in Superdrug. It's a lovely little brush. It's really easy to work with, so I just use it in a painting motion, as if I'm painting on my concealer. This helps me just rub it in properly and make sure it's completely rubbed into my skin. Then once I'm sure I have it all rubbed in, I use any extra product just to cover up any problem areas I might have. Like usually I have quite a bad problem around my forehead and nose area, so I just use any excess product for there. After that, I will always make sure it's just set in right, and then I will pick up a loose powder. Right now I'm using Stargazer's pressed powder in white. I think using a white one's quite good because it highlights the area and it also sets in your concealer for the day, so you don't have to worry about it ruining anything. As you can see, this is just pure white, but once you put it on you wouldn't realise it's actually as light as it is. I apply this with my Real Techniques powder brush. I love this brush, it's brilliant and it's the perfect size to just use on my concealer area. So as you can see, the brush literally takes up that whole area, which I think is brilliant because it means I don't have to worry about going in again. And as you can see, you can't actually tell it's a pure white powder. After this, I am going to be moving on to begin prepping my lips. I'm using my Baby Lips balm, and I swear by this, I use it in like really heavily concentrated portions overnight, and it prevents any chafing or chapping of my lips, and it's brilliant for any time of year. Also, this has a really nice scent, which I love. Now I'm going to be moving on to my eye area, and I will be starting off by applying my Maybeline 24-hour colour tattoo, and the shade of this one is my personal favourite in pure beige. I'm making that face because I don't know if it's zooming in right. So for this I use my MUA eyeshadow brush. I think it's their E10 brush. Yeah, I was right. So this brush is brilliant because just a couple of sweeps over my eyelid and it's got me perfectly covered. For my everyday looks, I don't tend to try to do like 2 or 3 colours on my lid. If I've had a morning where I'm particularly tired, I will maybe put a bit of white just in around my waterline, but as I'm doing this just to show you guys what I normally do, I've just decided to use a couple of sweeps of the brush and the eyeshadow. I usually start at the outer corner of my eye and work my way in, just as I feel that helps me get the best coverage I can, and then I just check everything has set right. After this, I am now going to begin dancing instead of applying makeup, as that's what you do in the middle of a tutorial. Next, I'm just going to brush through my eyebrows. I got this in a packet of brushes off eBay, so probably not a really good brand, but I do this just so I know my eyebrows are perfect, are like the shape I want for the day. I try to make mine have a slight arch, but I don't worry too much about it because I'm just happy that they maintain any shape at all. After I finished with this, I will get my Maybelline Brow Drama in medium brown. I swear by this gel. Half the time I don't fill in my eyebrows. I don't feel like they need filled in as much as they used to. So I use this. It's the little circular brush and I love it. It is so easy to apply. It's nearly foolproof. Though, like everyone, I do make the odd mistake. This is a brilliant match to my brows, which I love, and as you can see, I made the mistake. But this is a brilliant match to my brows. I got this after I started going blonde, because I felt it would be easier to work with my brows in a lighter colour shade instead of you doing my normal routine, which had them quite dark. So as you can see, this is a really good match to my brows, and if you make a mistake, it's very easy to correct it. And by applying this, I know my brows will keep their shape all day. Next, I'm going to be applying my Essence Cosmetics Lash Princess Mascara. This is a mascara I swear by. I am so happy I found this because it is literally my favourite product. I use this on a daily basis and I know I'll be running out of it soon. The brush for this product is actually really nice. The shape of it does come with what you would expect for most mascara brushes that are promising volume and curl, and I find it is really good at delivering that. I use a couple of layers of this and it leaves my eyes looking so much more wide open, and I love the effect this has. I have previously worn this and compared it against Unique's 3D Fibre Lash Mascara, and I feel like this is just as good, if not better than that, and it comes at a literal fraction of the price. I believe I only paid the equivalent of about £3 for this, so it really is the best bargain you're going to get for a mascara, and as you can see, it leaves your lashes looking so long. Next, I am going to begin applying, I think it's my powder. I was right, my powder. Again, this is another Avon product. I use their Ideal Flawless Pressed Powder. I use this in the shade Ivory or Soft Beige. I go through this quite a quick rate for most people, but it still lasts me a good month and a half. I've had this one for nearly 2 months. I always apply this using the Avon powder brush because I feel like it's the best brush for the job. Whenever I'm applying my powder, I dab it on first just to remove any shine from my skin to give me a more matte effect, but then after I finish that, I will rub it in so I know I'm definitely getting the coverage I need. However, I'll always start by dabbing it on first so I know I've gotten any areas I need to. This will help me set in my foundation for the day and then gives my final seal of approval for the concealer. Lastly, I'm moving on to my lips. I got this little product here in one of my glossy boxes. This is the Me Me Lip Crayon. Now, I love this little crayon. It's a very natural colour and it's a lovely match for my skin. It's a very light pink. I use this as kind of like a fill-in. I'll colour my whole lips in with this, but I'll start by lining them. sorry, but it's so that I know I've gotten cover on all of my lips before I add another colour to them. It kind of gives me an extra layer of protection in my eyes, so I know that everything's going to be fine. Lastly, I am applying one of the Collection's lipsticks. I got this in the same glossy box as the crayon, I think. Not 100% sure. This is another very neutral colour, and this is a very matte lipstick, which just means it applies with ease and it leaves your lips looking very matte. This is a very natural colour, so I tend to use it most days when I'm looking for a very natural lip instead of going for my normal bright red or purple lip. As you can see, this just looks very natural and very matte, so it just gives you that nice polished off look. Now I'm going to begin working on my hair. My hair is always a lot of fun to do, so I always start just by taking a section at the top of my head. I know most people will part it in 3 or 4 different ways, but because I only really have 2 major layers, I just have to part it up like this, and then I can begin. So all I do every day to my hair is straighten it. I use my, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Colorist C2s. Then I use the white tooth end of a double-ended comb just to go through my hair. I try not to use a lot of heat on it, I just use enough to remove any major curling in it so that I know my hair is going to sit nicely that day. My hair is currently at that stage where it flicks out of the ends no matter what you do. So I try to only go over my hair 2 to 3 times. I'll only go over it more if I feel it desperately needs it in that area. I also try to take quite smallish sections when I'm going through it so that I know I'm definitely getting the best result possible. However, I do know some parts of my hair will not uncurl. So once I finish the bottom section, I take down the next one, and to make it just sit, all I do is run my hand through it just so I know it's parting naturally. I find this is the best way to find the way your hair naturally wants to sit. So my hair quite naturally just sits in this sort of way. Then by doing this, I'm just making sure it's sitting the way it wants to. I used to try to fight it, but it doesn't work, and it's just not worth the time and the effort. As you can see, only going over each section a couple of times has still resulted in a really nice effect, and because of the highlights you can see much more depth to my hair, which is actually incredibly fine. So there it is, that is my finished everyday makeup look. I don't really do much, I just use a few basic wee products just to make sure everything looks good. So if you want, you can head on over to any of my different social media sites, which will all be listed down below, and I'd also love it if you could like and subscribe. Bye!